Alright, welcome to part 6 of my glitch sound design techniques series. This one will be mostly focused on kind of alternative methods for creating glitch sounds. Mostly data bending kind of stuff, but I've also found some things for creating automation envelopes in Reaper that lend themselves to glitch sound design. That kind of thing. So I guess I'll just get into it. If you saw my previous video of applying JPEG compression to audio, some of this will be a little familiar because it's data bending stuff. But I'll be doing fairly different stuff with it. To start with, I'll just be in Audacity. I'll import raw data. And then you can just kind of go about trying whatever you want. The file type will have an effect. The encoding type will have an effect. But they aren't like hard and fast rules for like, oh, this is what a PNG sounds like. You'll get pretty varied results from stuff. For example, let's hear this one. Probably just gonna be like noise. Oh, I don't have my headphones on. Just noise. But if I over here, try one of these, this will probably not just be noise. Yeah, still a PNG. The difference in this case specifically is that these images are all black and white, which I might do a little video about making this kind of thing at some point. Not that it's that difficult, but it's fun. So yes, even though they're both PNGs, you can still get a wide variety of results from them. You can try importing anything, an exe file, PDF, video, whatever you want. Especially with larger, like if you import a video file, it's probably gonna make something that is very long. You can try that. Like one of these. Yeah, this one's 7 minutes. And it's pretty much just noise. You can still find kind of cool little things here and there in things that are otherwise just noise, though, so it's worth looking through the waveform, looking for anything that looks interesting. So far I've just been importing things as 8-bit PCM, signed PCMs. But there are a whole bunch of different encoding methods here, and they, to some degree, each have their own sound, but you can still get a wide variety of sounds out of each of them. So again, it's not like a hard and fast thing. You really just have to play around with it and look for anything interesting. Do this at a lower rate. Playing these at really low rates can reveal some interesting little details and stuff from time to time. right, let's... Goodness. Where? They're there. Zoomed way out. Let's try a GIF. One of Erica Anderson's GIFs. Who, if you don't know, Erica Anderson, he makes these really cool looping GIFs every day. And they're really cool. I would recommend checking them out. Let me try, so GSM, well actually let me try Vox first. Curious what a GIF is gonna sound like. Okay, can try an exe. Go to where do I have here? Yeah. Do AM2R. What's AM2R sound like? Okay, there's some cool stuff there. I don't remember what. Oh, I used Fox for that. Okay. GSM. Let's hear what this DLL sounds like. DWVW. Just noise. I'll try this with GSM. So GSM is one of the most consistent ones I've found. It consistently gives kinda cool results. Like, that's pretty cool, kinda glitchy. The thing is, it's like a little too consistent. Kind of like everything you import. Oh no! Oh goodness. Oh, whew. I thought I knocked over my monster. It was just my headphones. Everything you import with GSM, in my experience anyway, just kind of sounds like this, which is cool. It is cool. But it is kind of samey. However, you can zoom in. You know, you can pull out these waveforms, use them, make a wavetable out of them. I made a wavetable quite a while ago. It's the wavetable that is used in Live in the Frozen Underpass, I think. And I like manually spliced together a bunch of, or I didn't splice them together, but I manually cut out a ton of waveforms and assembled them in this software to make a wavetable. And I pulled those waveforms out of something like this. Like, I imported an image file and went through and cut out like 256 of these waveforms, or however many it was, maybe 128, I don't know. maybe it was 100. I don't remember what the software I used was, though. That was a while ago. Anyway, noise. Yeah, I'll get rid of that. What's this one again? On. Sounds good. That was just noise. That's fine. That's noise. I'll leave that one. And let's see, I haven't used NMS yet. Let me do that one. What should I use? I have an Atari. Yeah, here we go. I'll use an Atari ROM. 16 kilobit per second, I'm guessing. KBS. I don't know. 80 PCM. Let's hear that. Oh, that one's great. You're at a low rate. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Yeah, I should play around with Atari ROMs more. But yeah, so you can save these, you know, put them in a sampler, granular synth, whatever, cut them into waveforms, whatever you want. I'll actually be doing kind of, I'll process these more later on. But to kind of go on to the next step of what I want to do. Well, actually, I guess I should show. So one of the file formats that I've heard consistently gives good results for creating glitchy audio is .psd files. It's like a Photoshop image file or something. Let's see. Don't do one of those. Those are big. I'll do one of these. So again, the encoding method you use is going to give you different results, so it's worth playing around with it. Let's hear one of these. That's pretty cool. Let's hear it with a different one. Let's do Vox. That's not great. Do DWVW. No, that's just noise. EULA. Not much there, honestly. Let me try another one. Let's do unsigned 8-bit PCM. Oh yeah. That's great. I like that. Okay. So now what I will do is I'm kind of showing the process that I've been using in this project that I'm working on currently, to some degree. But I will export all of these. Normally I just work with WAV files. I've been exporting them as FLACs just to save a bit of space because my project folder is already 10 gigs. And I don't even know how big it would have been if I'd been using waves. But you know, you can do it however you want. I guess I'll do these as FLACs. Make sure multiple files is selected. Make sure you don't have something soloed. And export should be pretty quick. There we go. So now, obviously you can start using the audio in stuff if you want. But if you want to process it a bit further, or if you want to make some PSD files, that's gonna be the next step I'm showing you. So, step 1, install GIMP 2.10. Now, if you go to the GIMP website, there's not, you know, you're on the downloads page. There isn't like a see all versions. Actually, I guess there is this. So, previous V3 installers for Windows can be found on download.gimp.org. You can follow that. Here's the GIMP 3, but if you go up and up, now you have access to all of the versions. If you go to GIMP 2.10 and then Windows or whatever your operating system is, now you have access to all the installers for every version of GIMP, which I'm kind of surprised they don't really show it on the website. They don't have like, here's all of the previous versions, but it's good that at least, you know, people still have access to them. So you want to install, I mean, I've just been using this. It's the most recent version of 2.10. You want to install that. You want to, this isn't really necessary, but I would recommend installing BIMP, which is not compatible with GIMP 3 yet, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't show up in GIMP 3. And then there's a script. I got this script from a random forum post, and I don't really want to just like be like, here, click a download link in a random forum post to people. However, the script is pretty short, so I might just be able to share it in a paste bin or something like that. But this is the script. You have your license thing at the start, and then this is the whole script right here. Now, when I downloaded the script, it exported in JPEG, BMP, PNG, and TIFF. And I wanted to export in PSD. So I opened up the script, and I just came here, and I changed, this is what, you know, this used to be BMP. I just changed this and this to PSD. Saved it. I was like, I have no idea if this is going to work or not. And it does. Incredibly. So yeah, if you have a version of this script that doesn't let you save in PSD, you can just come in here and change these to PSD, and you can do it. So you get the script, download it, or just copy and paste it from the paste bin or whatever however I share it, and put it in a text file. Save it as, I don't think the file name particularly matters, but save it as a .scm file in your C users username app data roaming GIMP 2.10 scripts folder. After all that, launch GIMP 2.10. Which, interestingly, it seems like you can't run GIMP 2.10 and GIMP 3 in parallel. This should be GIMP 2.10, I think. Yes. If I try launching, why is Windows search so abysmal? Come on, are you kidding me? Why would I want... Oh, I hate Windows and Microsoft so much. I hate it so much. I'm so glad I'm in the process of switching to Linux, so I can be freed of this nightmare operating system and company. Anyway, launch GIMP 2.10. Import your files. Wait, did I save these? Yes, I did. Oh, actually, so yes. First, you have to change the file type because I exported them as audio. Let me clean this up a little bit. Old data, a little description reference. That's what they call it, right? The old data. Okay, let me put those in there. Got the audio files here. I did see a... What? Oh, interesting. Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know it worked like that. That makes sense. But I kind of thought it would have, like, held the copied files in memory or something. Okay. So let me just change these real quick. I did see a script you can... like a batch file you can use to easily change the file type, or not file type, but the extension on a bunch of files at once, but this isn't too many to do manually. So I have my data files, which I will open here. Let me just do it this way. Ooh, that one's kind of cool. That one's pretty cool too. Got some cool stuff. Oh man, I should have tried messing around with FLAC files before. Pretty neat. Sure. I don't know. Do 1,000 by 1,000, I guess. Ooh, that's really cool. Okay, yeah. I'll just open these all like this. Oh man, there's some really cool stuff here. I'll have to play around with this more today. I have not tried opening FLAC files in GIMP before, and I did not know it was going to give such cool results. That's very cool. How many pixels are these? 7 pixels? Let me just real quick see how this looks with a grid on it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, to be fair. I like that a lot. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I'll have to play around with this more later. Anyway. I have my images. I want to save these all as... Let's see, I want to save them all as image files so I can do a bit of processing on them. And then I want to turn them into PSD files. So to do that, I will go to Tools, Save All As. So this is the script that's allowing us to do this. So go to video 6, PNGs. There we go. PNG. There we go. I'll export those real quick. All right, now I can go to File, Batch Image Manipulation, Add Images. There's been a cut here, as you might notice. All the images are gone, but I will just add the folder that I exported them into. PNGs. I made a backup of the folder because I'm just going to overwrite these. So add those, output folder, output there, and then you can add things that you want to manipulate the images with. I'm going to use wind. I'll move this up a little bit. Oh my goodness, I have a salad now, and the cats are swarming. Bumble, move along, please. No, get off the keyboard. Oh my goodness. Bumble, no. Want this going down. Say like 40. I'm sure. I don't know what blast looks like. I'm just gonna do wind. Sure. Let's do that. And then let's do that. And apply. And I will tell it to overwrite all these because I have a backup. And now let's look at them. Cool. Sure. Whatever. That'll do. So now I want to go to Tools, Save All As again. Bumble, honey? It's my salad. I love you. But it's my salad. You're not going to eat it. ESD. See. Let me. PSD folder here. Good. Save those. Now I will import them. Sure, we can do unsigned. Sure. You have to manually click import each time, which is kind of annoying, but these ones are quick, so it's not a big deal. Yeah. Not actually that great. Let me try box. I don't know. There's some cool stuff here. It'll do. It'll do for sake of example, at least. So now I will export all of these. Actually, let me do them. I'll do MP3 versions as well, I guess. Open up Reaper. Project for this real quick. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I already have a project. Bumble, get away from my salad. There we go. How should I do this? I guess I'll do the hex editing first. So, another data bending technique I learned from oh, I'm just blanking on his name now. Simon Hutchinson? Is that it? Yes, Simon Hutchinson. Simon Hutchinson has a great data bending playlist on YouTube. Audio focused data bending. Definitely worth a watch. Very good. And in this one, I'm guessing, oh, I guess there's two of them. In a couple of the videos, he works with manipulating audio in a hex editor. So I'll do that a little bit. I use HXD on Windows and what is it? I can't think of what the one I use in Linux is, but so I'll try it out with the Flax as well. But I will start with MP3 because I know that works well. Just put an MP3 in here. Now you can see, oh my goodness, these cats. Bumble, get away. Goose, get away. It's my salad. So in a hex editor, you are just looking at the raw data of the file. And as you're messing around with stuff in this, you want to make sure you don't mess around with the header, which is fairly easy to see sometimes. Sometimes it's not as obvious, but here you can see there's some things you can recognize, like lame. Lame is the like MP3 encoder, I think, that Audacity uses. 1-bit black white 1-bit PSD, that's the file name. So some metadata kind of stuff shows up in here. And then there's this big gap. And then it looks like this is all the data of the file. So what you can do in a hex editor is just mess around with stuff as much as you want. You can just change values randomly. This will generally, at least for MP3s, it'll give you these kind of little glitchy chunks, little like chirpy bits that are kind of cool. Okay, that's good. You can copy and paste. This tends to act much like you would expect copying and pasting to do. It's just like you're getting part of the audio file and copying and pasting it, so you can make these kind of little glitchy, stuttery things. It seems like I know a lot of image formats will break if they have a different file size than they think they should, but that does not seem to be a problem for MP3. You can make the file size file size huge, and it will not really care. I'm not sure if you can touch this stuff at the end. I'm not really sure what that is. I would probably lean on the side of leaving it alone, but you can save it. Now, so an important thing to bear in mind here, when you are saving this, you are overwriting the file. So make sure you have a backup. I don't have backups of the MP3s, but that doesn't care, because I just made the MP3s for this purpose. But yes, be careful about that. Don't accidentally overwrite something important. Okay, so let's hear that. Now you could just play the audio file. However, when data bending stuff in a hex editor, I find you can really break stuff. Like, you can break stuff really hard. I was messing around with a video file in a hex editor. I tried playing it, and then Windows Explorer, the file explorer, was broken for several days. If I opened File Explorer, it just froze and crashed. Restarted the computer multiple times, all this. Didn't fix it. It eventually went away. But that's just from playing a hex edited video file. It severely messed with Windows Explorer. Which, by the way, if that happens to you, the way you can get around it is by opening the old control panel and then come here and then go C, boop, and you're in Windows Explorer, because the control panel is part of the Windows Explorer for some reason. And for some reason, doing it that way it got around the freezing and crashing. Yeah, you want to be on the safe side with this. You can mess things up. I've had it do weird things, like I'll edit a file in a hex editor, play it in VLC, and it's like it breaks my audio interface or something. I don't even know. It like gets louder and louder and louder and louder until you close it. Like, as each time it plays in VLC, it keeps getting louder and louder and more distorted. Just weird stuff happens. So, to be on the safe side, I would recommend pulling it into a DAW or an audio editor, whatever, before playing it, so that way, you can see the waveform, you can put a limiter on it, just to be safe. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is a result of the hex setting. That's the kind of little chirpy glitch you tend to get with hex editing MP3s. I should have done this with a more interesting file. Let me find a better one. Oh, you know what? Let me really quickly export these as MP3s. Are these the original ones? No. Real quick. Though I am interested to try manipulating a FLAC in a hex editor because I haven't tried that yet. But yeah, messing around with one of these should make the hex editing more obvious. So let me do that. This one's really short. Oh, and you can delete stuff too. You can just delete a chunk. Oh, we'll try it. That might break it, but we'll see. I feel like I've messed around with that before and it's been fine, but I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? It's gonna glitch it? It's kind of the point, you know? Now, the worst that will happen is that it just breaks the file completely. Or breaks my computer. Sure. Save that. We can compare them side by side. So here's the original one. Huh. Why is that silent? That's strange. Let me try it in Audacity. I mean, that's kind of the kind of strange things you'll come across in this process is things don't really always work how they should. Yeah, I might have broken it by messing with that thing at the bottom. All the A's. Let me try this one. Now you can find and replace. The problem with doing that here is that it would likely, or at least possibly, mess with the header. But find and replace is a great way of messing with the file in a pretty extreme, intrusive way, very, very easily. Let me try, since this is pretty short header, let me see if I can find hex value that isn't here, like 8B. Oh, it has an 8B. Okay. 8F. Nope. One of those two. Oop. Oh no. There we go. How about 9D? Okay, no 9Ds in the header, so I can search for 9D and replace with A4. Place all those. 7,832 occurrences of 9D. That's a few. So that should be a pretty substantial change to the file. Just making sure there's nothing in here that got messed with. Bumble. No, that's my salad. Okay, let's try that. Save that, and Bumble, no. Every meal is a challenge living here. These cats will not leave me alone. Okay, let's hear these side by side. So this is the FLAC. Whoa, goodness, that is loud. You can't hear that anyway. Sorry about that. Glad I noticed that sooner rather than later. Okay. Let's hear the MP3. Oh, that was great. You hear all those little FFT chunky chirpy bits there in the background? So that's hex editing. I don't know. There might be some way of only. I guess I could try that. So I was thinking maybe I could like select a region to search, find, and replace in. But there's a search direction. So maybe I can. Okay, let's say 48. That shows up here. Or 48, I should say. It's not 48. Let me just scroll past the header. And then try this. And I should delete that so it's not. Bumble, honey. Oh my goodness! You're meddlesome. Change it to C8. Let's try that. Okay, I guess that works. Nice, that is very good to know. So yeah, that's a way you can find and replace anything on an MP3. I mean, presumably not AA. That would probably mess up whatever is here. Oh yeah, here you see lame 3.1. Yeah, so that must just be a footer, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, let's save that and give it a listen. great. Okay, so let's try hex editing a FLAC. I do not know how that will go, but I'm curious. Okay, so I think this is GSM. I'm not familiar with what FLACs look like here. Okay, so there's your header. And I'm guessing everything after all these FFs is the data. If there is a footer, doesn't really look like it. Bumble, honey? Yeah, I got away from my salad. Let's do that. Oh, whoops. There we go. That's a few. That's a few of them. It always blows me away how many. Because, okay, how many? It's 256 possible bytes. That each hex pair is, I guess. Goosey? Goosey? Kind of a little bit in the way. Oh my goodness, Bumble. Now Bumble's coming. She's flanking the side while Goose is sitting in front of the salad. Let me... Goosey, it's hard to use the keyboard when you're sitting in front of it. Oh my goodness. These cats. Goosey? Goosey? Get away from my salad. Oh my goodness. Goosey. Stop. You know, let me... So what did I find and replace before? Let me try to, like, balance it out in a way. So... I swapped 48s with C8. So now I can search for B5 and replace with 48. And then I can search for 9-2. Replace with... Wait, what was it? B8? I don't know. Whatever. Probably fine. Wow. A single occurrence of 9-2. That's wild. I don't think I've ever seen that. Like, how many bytes is this? This is 16. Oh goodness. Oh, I don't even know. I'm not like a computer science major. I don't have all this stuff memorized about how to translate between hex and binary and decimal. Or base 10, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. It's a lot of bytes. So only finding 192 is really strange. Okay. Let's check it out. If it even works. Ha. Okay. Let me do this. Don't know if this will work, but for the shot. Oh. Why does every accidental button press in Windows open up Copilot? I don't want Copilot. I've uninstalled it probably multiple times. Yep, there we go. It revealed a little bit. Still seems like the data's pretty messed up, but there's at least a little bit of recoverable stuff. So I'm guessing what happened there was that the data had like an extreme DC offset or something. Although I'm not sure how that would work because it's 24-bit, so it couldn't be like clipping off the side like 32-bit float. I don't know. Whatever. If you see if you see something like that where a file is completely silent or looks silent, I would probably recommend not just playing it, because my concern is that it would have some extreme DC offset and it could like damage your speaker or something. But yeah, try using a DC filter and a limiter and see if that can pull anything out. Doesn't really seem to be much of interest here though, unfortunately. I mean, there's cool little bits like that, but it doesn't seem to be that successful. I might try. Let me just try some like minor hex editing. I wonder what that is. Let's try that, and oh, that's probably why it only showed up one result of 92. It's probably that after replacing some, it left me right down at the bottom, so there was only one instance of 90 or 92 between where it left me and the bottom. I am certain that's what happened. It seems virtually impossible for a fairly large file to only contain one instance of that value. Oops. C2 and 9. What? Try that again. Really? So maybe it's not. Maybe there actually only was one instance. Because there was only one. I think it was only one C2. Whatever. I'll just save that. and give it a listen. And you know, I'm not familiar with kind of the layout of a FLAC file, so it could be that there is some, I'm messing with some footer, or there's, you know, I don't know, some necessary blocks of data scattered throughout the file that finding and replacing will mess them up. What one was I working on? This one. Doesn't look like it though. It looks like that is. Looks like you can't really mess with it too much, but that's good to know at least. If you know some way of data bending FLAC files, I would be happy to hear it. Or data bending them with more success in a hex editor. Yeah, not getting anything from it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you have these data bent audio files, data bent in GIMP and a hex editor. Now, what to do with them in Reaper. And all this that I'll be talking about is very Reaper specific, or at least like the workflow I've found for these things is very Reaper specific. Let me pull in all these. All right, so if you select these, I'll try it this way. I'm not sure if... Okay, yep. Looks like it should work. Didn't know if it would do multiple files at once or not, but it looks like it does. If you select all of these and then press D, the dynamic split menu comes up, which allows you to automatically split the file into chunks based on the transients. Although I guess you can actually control it with a gate as well. Okay, I see. That's good to know. I've always just done it to transients, but it's kind of cool that you can do it to the gate. So what you're looking for here, you want to chop it into a ton of little pieces. You want, I'd say, chunks that are between like 100 milliseconds. I mean, you could go even shorter than that. But I would lean towards having something like 100 milliseconds up to like a second long, maybe. I like that one. That's a good longer chunk, but then you have a lot of little chunks like that there. I could bring this down a little bit, I guess. Maybe like 75-ish, something like that. Then you can set the sensitivity here. I have the sensitivity very high. If I bring it all the way down, it chops them into less pieces. At 100, it's gonna do a lot. I think that should be fine. I have other options. I haven't really messed around with it that much, but oh, create chromatic MIDI item from slices. I haven't tried that before. That sounds cool. But hit split. Take a few seconds to split this into like thousands of pieces. I don't remember what I feel like I had one time where I split it into like 10,000 pieces or something like that. Hi, sweetie. Sweet goosey. Can take a little while. Is it doing this one? Looks like it's not getting that file. I'm curious to see what this chromatic MIDI item will be. It seems like that could be kind of useful for some stuff. If it creates like a semi-random MIDI file, or even just like a MIDI file with notes all set to the length of each of these chunks, so you could have a MIDI item that syncs up with them or something. That'd be cool. Curious to see what that's like. My goodness, I might need to fast forward through this. This is taking its time. I could probably close some stuff. Close GIMP. Close Audacity. Can close HXD. Close that. Just to give it a little extra computing power. I don't need Ableton open right now. Oh, okay, yes. I guess there are like 3,000 splits. You can see on this reduce splits thing. So this is, I guess, while it's doing this, I might as well kind of talk about how I've used all this stuff. So my sound redesign of a glitchy animation thing that the artist AJ Generated made, I posted maybe in February, something like that. See this thing. The challenge I set for myself with that redesign was that the only audio I could use in the, like, all of the source audio I used for it had to come from the video file of the animation, the video file of the Hans Zimmer masterclass trailer thing that the video was, it had like chopped into the glitchiness, and the audio from that video, specifically the audio from that video that corresponds with the sections of the video that are incorporated into AJ Generated's video. So I could only use those as source audio, or as use that data as a source to build everything else out of. So I started by, my goodness, this is taking a while. I started by importing each of those, importing the video files as raw data into Audacity as every one of the encoding types, exporting those. Went through and cut out the sections of the video, the Hans Zimmer video, that are used in AJ Generated's video, so I could extract the audio from that. And then with those files, I just kept processing, reprocessing, exporting, doing dynamic splits like this, batch manipulating them, applying spectral compression to add more tonal elements because they're mostly just noise. The raw files I exported were pretty much just noise. Then, you know, kind of cheating a little bit in that I could like get a noisy file, stack up a bunch of sharp bandpass filters on it, so I have a essentially sine wave. So then I can kind of use that to create some more pure tonality things. Just building on that, building on it until I had enough source audio to use in the video. I don't remember if I did a breakdown of that or not. I'll have to check. Maybe that might be like the last entry of this series. So I still have all the files for it separate in my project specific folder generated. So let's see how. Yeah, so almost 9 gigabytes of audio that I just created out of those 2 video files. So these are like the. Oh, you can't hear this. So pretty much just noise was the initial stuff that I exported from Audacity. But then I think these clips are probably all dynamic splits. Just tiny little chunks that I can put, convert into a wavetable, put in a granular synthesizer, whatever. All those little chunks to use. I think this is probably the audio.
I am convinced.
Yeah, these are just the little chunks of audio that correspond with the parts of the video that were used in AJ Generated's video. What's this? Oh, I think this is actually. After I applied a bunch of bandpass filters to some noise and to basically create a sine wave, I exported that sine wave, exported it as an MP3, and then I data bent it in a hex editor. These are. So these are
No idea how to do.
which things you will notice sometimes, or actually, does that count down normally? I don't know.
It's always.
I think it should. I think this should count down. Yeah, you'll notice things like that get messed up. I guess it's probably because the metadata or whatever counts the length of the audio is unchanged, but you significantly sometimes change the length of the file. I'm guessing that's how it gets messed up. My goodness, this is taking a while. Maybe I should close this out. Resynthesize. What's this one? Oh, yeah, this is my sine wave. That's a more warbly one. This is like a very clean one. Oops. These are more data bent. Which I then turned back into wave files to be able to pull them into phase plant, probably. Uber compressed. This is applying extreme MP3 compression to them. These mostly ended up kind of noisy. But then I did it again. Got more spectral tonal stuff from it. Let me pull these files back in real quick. Oh, no, it's not that. I'll just not do them all in one go like I did last time. It's a bit easier for it to process. Okay. Oh, I didn't save it. That's unfortunate. I think I had that. And this was... Oh, that might be right. I don't know. Something like that, sure. Okay, so it that went just fine that time. Let me get a couple more of these. Those. Those. But yeah, so then once I did these, uber compressed things, then I did these dynamic splits. So I made all these tiny chunks. I don't even know how many. 6,000 chunks. So I had tons of material to pull from for granular synthesis, sampling, everything. Tons of stuff to use. I guess we need to split this one. They're all, yep, that's split. Just do this one. Oh, I need to, okay. Maybe I'm not going to be able to split this one. Oh, I forgot to do the MIDI file thing. Whatever, I can do that on my own time. Actually, you know what? No. This will probably end up in something potentially useful for glitchy stuff, so I might as well do it in the video. Get these longer ones. Oh, no, not that. There we go. Dynamic split, create chromatic MIDI item, go. Where's my MIDI item? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so does that... Okay. Let me see here. correspond with... Oh, you know what? I bet it does it this way. So if you're chopping a drum break and you're putting all the chops into a sampler, you can play through them in time with this MIDI file. That I bet that's why. That's an option. But yeah, that's cool. So let me just try. Okay, so maybe not the way I did it here, but that seems kind of cool. Ooh. Oh, that sounds really nice. Pretty cool. I don't know. That seems like an interesting enough way of creating a MIDI file. There's probably a... I don't know. Is this gonna do what I need? Try that. Oh, okay. I need to select the... Here we go. So this wasn't actually one of the things I was going to talk about, but there's a script, Locasena MIDI randomization tool. It should be on the repack repositories. But yeah, it seems like a neat enough way of making specifically a MIDI file with a bunch of MIDI notes that are different lengths. Which, randomizing the notes is easy enough, as seen just now, but I don't know of a way of randomizing MIDI lengths like that. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, we have all these little slices. What I like to do now is to normalize them. Let me delete this one. Just so you have everything at the same level. You can pull up some sections that are quieter, and also just generally put everything in a okay. And then you can just name them Sliced items. I don't know. Make all the regions. What is that action? I have it set to a hotkey, but markers insert separate regions for each selected item. And it names the region what the item name is, which is why you want to set it beforehand. Then you can just come here, 16, render this track for all regions. It'll fill the whole thing, and then you can just render them all very, very easily. And then you can, let me do it right now. I mean, you can do this without rendering them all, but I like having everything rendered and easy to use. But you can just, drag something in here. Try this one. These are actually a little too short. See if I can find a longer one. I guess I could do this one, although it may not work very well. Oh, I didn't realize I was playing noise over it the whole time with the other ones. Okay, let me try this one. Still don't really want it. This one. Having such a smooth transition. Although I guess I can just use sample and hold modulation, put that on there. I don't know. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that's just a way of making a whole bunch of little chunks that you can use for granular synthesis, sampling, whatever. Very easily. You can get like a wide variety of sounds and textures to use. So let's see, what next? Oh, yes, envelopes. Envelope generation. Okay, I need some effects to use. What is this? I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Some effects to use that don't, obviously, if you can just use Snap Heap, that's ideal, because that Snap Heap has just unbelievably good modulation tools. But you can't always. Like, oh yeah, I can use like spectral gate. Or actually, you know what, even better. Main. I just learned about this recently. It's a very feature-rich MP3 compression emulator kind of thing, which is, more or less spectral gating. Let's find something cool with it. That's pretty cool. Although I would like to randomly modulate the XY controls on this. I can go to random modulation, select the envelope, band stack, window increment. Now you have automation items. I think that's what they're called, something like that. These things that you can use, that they're great for being able to easily copy and paste automation envelopes. I have a few waveform options. You don't have any random modulation. Now, that being said, this is still a good way of making a bunch of points, which we can use in a second. So I can just set high cycle rate, something like that. There. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, maybe a bit more. Actually, I guess I should shrink this a bit. Oh, why can't I? Do that again. There we go. That's good. And now I can just copy and paste this a bunch of times. And then I will delete automation preserve points. So now we have all these points, they aren't part of the automation item anymore. So now I've made this custom action randomize envelope points. And it consists of 4 things. Select points in time selection, and then these 3 scripts that are just on the repack repo or whatever, you know, just the like default repos or repack. All these things. Probably, where was it? I saw it there. Kawa's scripts. Probably from there. So Kawa envelope randomize a random point position, random point shape, random point value. So individually, I can kind of zoom in and show these. So I'll just select this point here. Random point position. I should probably do that one last because I'm not sure how far away it'll send it. Random point value. Run that. Is it not running? Why is that not working? There we go. I guess maybe you have to do multiple? I don't know. But yeah, random point shape. You can see how this is changing the curves between the points. Random point position, or random point value. Changing the values. And then random point position. I guess it's, yeah, just randomizes them within the selection. You can get some varied spacing between points. So by selecting all of these and then running all 3 of those things, and this will select all the points that are in my time selection on this track, and then run all 3 of those. So, oh, I guess I have to, I'm a bit greedy with it. Let me just start with this. There you go. So it's broken up that sign into all these random jagged shapes. Just go through. Why is this not going? Alt-R. Oh, because I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, I had the wrong track selected. That would explain it. There we go. We have some random modulation there. Random modulation, random rate, random curves between modulation points. It's pretty random. Cool. However, you don't always want, especially in glitch sound design, I would say, you don't always want curves between your modulation points. I'd say sample and hold modulation is often what you want in glitch sound design. And I don't know of a way of doing that. If you bend the curve to an extreme degree, you get like pretty sharp but it's still not, it's not a, you're gonna hear that curve, and that's not really what I want. So I dug around a bit and eventually found another script called, not iPad, SWS/Padre envelope LFO generator. So, oh yes, I'll do it on this one. So I will select this area on this envelope track. Not Panda, Padre. Run this script. Padre's LFO generator. You can select the target, time selection, random, frequency. I'll want it pretty fast. Maybe like that. Some more controls, but that's all good. So now we have random sample and hold modulation. Now that's a bit fast. I want this, let's say an eighth. Maybe even a quarter. Yeah, I think that's all. And so now the obvious issue with this, not necessarily an issue, but something that could be an issue, is we chose the rate for this modulation. All of these modulation points are evenly spaced, but we can easily fix that with Kawa's script. Random point position, or not position. Yes, position. Yes. Oh, I need to get this in chunks again. Okay, maybe let's open up Padre again. Let's do half. Oops. I hit close. I did. There we go. See if that worked. Look like it. Why did it not work? Okay, I figured out the issue. It's that there needs to be a time selection and the points need to be selected. So what I'm going to do here is I will just make a custom action where I have random point position, and I will have select point time selection find it. Select points in time selection. There we go. So that. So now I should be able to just select this Run that. Oh, it's too many. There we go. Like that. There we go. So now we have sample and hold modulation that happens at a random rate. So let's hear this. I want to hear some. Let's do multi-band clipping. Oh, you know what? Another thing, this isn't really a glitch specific thing, but just a good tool to have in Reaper if you don't already. The paranormal FX router. It's another extension that you can get through Repack. So for that, I'll just click this track, press this, which just runs the script. And now I have this thing, which is like a very nice, intuitive user interface for applying effects. And it is particularly very, very useful for multi-band processing, because you can come here, processing setups, and I'll do 5-band splitter stock. Now I have a 5-band splitter, can select the frequencies of the bands. I will, let me get 80 clip. Then I can just copy this, paste it in these. Give that a listen. Some other sort of distortion or something. No, phase distortion will probably destroy it. Maybe just some saturation. I don't know exactly what that'll do after a clipper, but I'll try it. Now, can I even... Nice. Yeah, you can even rearrange them. So I think I'll do that, like that. Have the saturation before the clipper. Oops. Why? I guess I didn't copy the saturator. That's fine though. Whatever. I'll just mess around with it. Something like that. Who cares? Tweak the frequencies. Something like that. Oh, and then we want a limiter. It's just really, really useful for multiband stuff. I think that's probably about it. So yeah, this was really just all techniques theory. I wasn't really like actually building a glitch sound, but these are just a lot of techniques you can use for doing glitch stuff outside of a synth that has, you know, built-in modulation and all that, and neat ways of getting strange sounds and just raw material to make stuff out of with data bending and whatnot. So I think that's probably about it. This has probably been a very long video. So if you are still here, thanks for watching. All right, so one is Microsoft SAM. I don't remember where I got this. There, I think, are just a variety of Microsoft SAM things available online. I think there are probably ones that you can use in the browser. I like having something that I can run locally. This is like a reverse engineered version of it. Oh, you could probably, I would imagine you can probably find this version of it through looking for its creator, but it's a reverse engineered version of it. The README has a lot of information about how to use it and stuff. But to use it, I'm just gonna open PowerShell here. You can probably do this in command prompt as well, but I prefer PowerShell. Mostly just because it lets me make it semi-transparent and change the color. Might be able to do that in normal command prompt as well. I don't know. So /sam /sam SAM. Oh yeah, Sam. And then you can have a lot of control over the sound by using all these flags, or whatever they would be called. I think that's called a flag. So like speed 200. Oh yeah. You have to play around with the values. I'm not entirely sure what the ranges available are. Because sometimes I think the higher speed you have, the slower it is. Rather unintuitively, in my opinion. But if you go too high, it doesn't really do anything. Oh yeah, yeah. Like, I think that's. Oh yeah, yeah. See, that's even faster than 200. But if I go for like 20, that's super fast. So I don't know. You have to play around with the values. It's kind of unintuitive. But I like using low speed. Pitch, you can, I don't know, play around with. And then throat and mouth are more like changing the actual sound of the words. Kind of cool. That's pretty cool. But yeah, you can just play around with it and get some sounds that I think lend themselves to glitch sounds, and then you can well, my audio interface anyway has, I need to open it. It has the loopback mixer, so I can loop the output back into the input, or not into the input, but into the loopback, so then I can, in Reaper, record stuff from that. If you don't have that, maybe you could just use VB cable. You could, yeah, because that's how you're hearing it, I think. You can just set your output here to VB cable and then into Reaper from there. Whatever. You can just mess around with SAM, get cool sounds, and just keep recording them in Reaper, and then process them further, time stretch them, whatever. Process them in all sorts of ways to get cool sounds that you can use for glitchy sounds or whatever. Just another neat way of making audio. And then the last thing I have will have to wait for another day. I had recorded a separate video on my iPad using another tool, but I decided to hold off on it for now. I think it's possible that I may still make a video about it at some point, but not even necessarily part of this series, just a video about this tool. But I'm going to hold off on it for now. So anyway, thank you for watching. That was why Sam introduced this section, because I had gone into it thinking that I was going to have these two extra things and decided to just use one. So thank you for watching. It's been a long video. I am here editing the video, realizing that I need to record an actual ending to it. Sorry the video's so late. I've been doing a lot. I had a long weekend and did a lot of stuff. I was out recording in the woods for like 4 hours today. Collected many ticks. I do not like ticks. But it was good. Good recordings. I will definitely be returning there in the future. Actually, I haven't checked the recordings yet, but the environment was good. There were good sounds to record, so I think they probably came out well. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching. And I guess, what'll the next episode be? Might be either using some glitch machines tools, or maybe using or sort of recreating some of the glitch sound design techniques that I have shown in Faceplant in free synths, specifically Vital and Surge XT. Probably one of those, but I think we're getting close to the end of this series. It's been fun though. I've enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks for watching.